It's the time it takes for your Zuki to rot.
That's right.
You need it. You need that. You need that little boost to do that one.
Shit down so that my Facebook doesn't come yelling at me in the middle of our show.
Yeah.
As it tends to do.
Not to interrupt your show or anything, but you're doing a show right now.
Yeah. Hey.
You might be interested to watch.
Would you like to watch the show you're doing? Stupid ass.
Oh, these stupid computers with their helpful suggestions.
So we've been back on Facebook since last week.
Since we restarted, so 2 weeks ago. If Allison was not on the last episode, then it's
been 2 weeks.
Then this is our third.
Oh, was she on? Maybe she was on last week's episode. I think she was on last week's episode. So this is only our second.
Oh yeah,
we recounted everything.
No, because last week we did the weird news from the week previous.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah,
right.
so this is the third episode that we've been on Facebook.
If you're with us on the stream, I doubt anyone is.
Nobody's here yet.
If you're listening back to this or whatever, who cares? I'm just going to always talk under the assumption someone's listening because somebody always is.
It's usually me.
It's Matt. So anyways, Matt Suter of the future. As you know, we decided to do this show because we mainly don't remember things that we did.
Bingo.
I don't have a clue. When people make references, like anyone, there's been a couple people that have made a reference to something. I think like Jess Heckler was saying some kind of a joke or something like that. And I was like... I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
And it's like, it's like I should know, and it's from the show.
It's great.
I don't have when it leaves my lips.
Yep.
Leaves my mind.
It's gone.
It's forever. I am constantly purging the intrusive thoughts.
Yep.
And this show is
right
my avenue.
Your ears.
This could be therapy if it wasn't basically weapeonized.
Exactly
if
right.
But didn't hurt other people because they don't call those they don't call a they don't call a shooting therapy. Yeah,
this is true.
I was like, oh well, it formed in my brain, and I was like, should I say this?
Well, it's all right. We're not on the show yet. This is the pre-show. We got one, but it's all right.
Whatever.
It's
probably Allison.
Not anybody important. It's not anybody who's going to take us straight.
Yeah, no one to get us in trouble.
Straight to the FBI.
Right to the principal's office with you. I got a pink slip.
That's right.
Get in there.
That's right. As long as as long as the handcuffs are covered in fur, we'll be just fine. All right, let's get this fucking thing on the road.
Let's get this thing over with.
Here we go, everybody. We got two. They're piling in.
Oh no!
We're shutting the
door.
Turn
them
Keep
and run
your
while you can.
Arms and legs inside. Inside.
Yeah.
Of the
we don't want them outside.
Podcast. Yeah, because we don't want anybody. We lost one. That's good. Somebody fell out.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Yay! And then... Wait!
What does that do? Did that blow your mind?
That just happened.
This corner weighing in at 180 pounds.
Darkness, everybody!
You've got a dirty, whorish mouth.
A fucking amateur. Am I wrong? No. Am I wrong? Yeah. Okay, then.
Hail to the king, baby.
Yeah, fuck it, dude. Let's go bulls. If you tell anyone about this, I'll fucking kill you. I'm kidding. We'll come back by tonight. Okay.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Kickstart with Matt.
And Matt.
Here we are, everybody. We've made it back. We did it again.
Here we come.
Still alive. Still, kicking for the most part.
I'm kicking everything I can get my friggin' hands on. I'm a kick machine.
Let me tell you what.
It's like I'm back doing Tang Sudo again.
It's all over again. It's all over again. The high-low kicks. Yeah, you gotta keep that those hip flexors flexing.
Don't come within about 4.5 feet because I think that's like my leg. My
my
range.
Yeah, because then you got to get into Muay Thai territory, and the knees don't work so well after all the kicks.
Well, at this age and stuff with my knees hurting the way they do.
Nope.
I wouldn't get into it now, but I always wanted to try Muay Thai because I always thought it was kind of cool. I like the close quarter striking. I like the grapples and like kind of those fucking kicks look so brutal.
Oh yeah, they get real bad.
Shit. Have you
Yep.
ever seen that movie Ong Bak?
Yes.
Man, that shit is awesome. That's like an old movie now. That Tony Jaa, he's so
Yep.
good. It's
Yep.
like so insane.
Yeah.
Man, I'm surprised. Like, well, I guess Muay Thai probably did do like a bit of a craze after that.
Yeah, it did. It had a little bit of a let's say not influx, not a resurgence, but I guess a
spike.
period, a spike in prominence.
Yeah,
How about that?
yeah,
We'll
yeah.
put it that way.
Now it's all just Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because
Yes.
Joe Rogan won't shut the fuck up about it.
BJJ all
Shut
the way.
up!
That's right.
Why does he so obsessed with just the most like inane bullshit
He's-
that doesn't pertain to anyone's life?
He's got to sell protein powder. That's why.
That's right. Yeah.
That's the
Joe
only
Rogan,
reason.
blood juice.
That's
get pumped up like a giant bloated tick, just like me, Joe.
Just the whole time there's somebody with a T pump just pumping
does.
it
He
full
looks
of blood.
he looks like that Mario Party game where you're trying to pump up like
Yeah!
the balloon head of your own character,
Yes,
your own avatar.
that's exactly what his show
Oh,
is.
Man,
The
it is.
whole time. The
It is,
whole
and
time.
I feel the same amount of anger when I hear
Yes.
him now that I did when I would play Mario Party.
Oh man.
When I played Mario Party, we emulated it after a while because I think we lost our N64. Might have sold it at a garage sale or something. 'Cause,
Sure.
You know, parents back in the day was like, it was like this thing has been touched for long enough.
Yep.
It's time to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Time to put it in the yard sale. Put it in the pile. Jesus, it might have just stopped working. Honestly.
Yeah, that happened from time to time.
Oh my lord, I just forgot my entire
Well,
stream
you were talking.
of
We were talking
consciousness.
about pumping up.
Oh, right,
Joe
so Mario
Rogan.
Party. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
emulated it. We emulated on the computer, and me and Greg used to play it all the time. And I had for my anger at the friggin' computer characters,
Uh-huh.
right? The computer player
Right.
would always fuck you over so
Of course they
bad.
would. Yeah.
You would be winning tremendously,
Yeah.
right? And then they would turn around and fuck you over. I guess that's how Trump felt
They're
in
a
the last
plant.
election.
Yeah, they're a plant. Yeah.
So we had this candle, this big giant wax candle, huge. It was like a triple candle,
Right.
and there was like a letter opener. So
Okay.
it was like a stabbing kind of thing. And I used to just take that thing and just fucking stab that big chunk of wax every time I get angry. I'd be like,
Very-
this motherfucker,
Very satisfying.
Wario,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
piece of shit. It would always play like against like Wario or Waluigi,
Yeah, yeah. You have to. You have to get the odd characters.
or
out.
I would be them just so I could troll.
Well, sure. Yeah, you have to. Sometimes you have to become the monster to better
Oh.
understand how to kill it. You know?
I like the justification because I just feel like I'm wearing monster skin all the time.
Yes.
So, give me a reason, baby.
That's right. Come on.
I love it.
Come on. Give me
Hand
that
it
reason.
to me. I'll
Yep.
eat it up just like the way I eat all of the flesh
That's right.
of
Yep.
the people around. It's Halloween season. As I desperately try to be, I'm desperately trying to be interesting for you guys, and I haven't even made 5 minutes yet. I'm getting winded on this. You guys are just you're in for nothing at all
Oh,
this
no.
week.
Oh
You
no.
guys are in for not a single funny, not a laugh.
We got a lot.
You come here to cry.
There's-
Let's
that's right.
face it.
There's nothing here that's going to give you any joy whatsoever. We don't
Mhm.
even have the soundboard working.
Yeah, dude, this is only making me upset.
Come on now.
Let's
Do
do
it. Do oh wait, the sound was,
But she's beautiful.
the volume was down.
She's dying.
That'll do it. That
Thank
helps.
God, we that's a crutch that we desperately need.
Yes, we definitely need that.
Oh.
I'll tell you, I have been consuming documentaries and what do they call those? I guess like the dramatization of a documentary, like when they do a mini series. I guess it's just the mini series.
Docuseries or yeah, like
Yeah, because a docu-series is like a
it's just
mini
broken up.
series of a documentary
yeah,
because it's so big.
you're talking about like Dahmer.
Yeah,
or like the
like-
kind of
right.
or that Ted Bundy
That
one.
yeah, whatever. Yeah, I can't. It's
Incredibly-
it's a bunch of
incredibly
yeah, Zac
dumb
Efron
and-
did.
And what happened to your jaw? I think that was called.
Fucking
What
great.
happened to
I
his
loved
jaw?
it. Oh,
Have
yeah.
you seen him?
Real tight. Kept
He's-
it real
He
tight.
said he said he like broke it or something like that.
Yes,
Dude, he looks like he kind of looks like
he broke
somebody
it in
like
a surgery room. I think.
Yeah. I think they broke it on purpose and then they put a big chunk of bone in there. He looks like he's like did the fusion dance with a cow.
Yeah, well,
he's huge
he's
now.
going. Yeah, he wanted the prominence. He wanted to definitely cut his way into the room. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And he's doing it.
Now his head takes up more space than it ever has before.
Yeah, he might have some of
Crazy.
that mastic gum. Maybe he's just
Mhm.
chewing. Just
Oh yeah,
really.
it's all
really
just
in there.
strong.
Yeah.
He could literally bite a hole through a car.
He was doing. It was a Dahmer movie. I mean, he was up for it.
I gotta be dangerous
He's like,
somehow.
I didn't get that one though.
Mm.
But no. So I watched Monsters, which just came out on Netflix about Eric and
the
Menendez brothers.
I'm sorry, Menendez.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is one that I watched. I watched a mini series on them a while back, and then
I'm glad you watched it.
There was
I wouldn't.
It was so fucking good. It was so fucking good. I loved this. There were so many of these things. They catch them and they try and put some sort of spin on it to either make it look like the killer wasn't as guilty or all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Go through the first 2 episodes, and I was like, this is fucking disappointing because they're just doing the same bullshit that they always do, where they're trying to make them look sympathetic and like, oh, boo-hoo, it's because of this and because of that, as if it fucking matters because they still fucking killed their parents. And what difference at close range with fucking shotguns?
Yeah.
What difference does that
not
make?
really self-defense. Like you can't. It's kind of hard to rule it as like a a mistake or
a whole big problem.
Understanding.
So then. The 3rd episode starts with their father as a kid.
Okay.
And then it tells the whole story again from his perspective, the people that knew him, that had talked to him, that were around him, basically giving his point of view as best as they could reconstruct it from the people who were close to him. And around the boys enough to know them. They fucking took the whole thing, spun it from different perspectives in the whole thing while telling the story.
Oh.
And having these common points, like they had the same song playing on the radio when the boys pull up in the convertible before they go in and kill them. Like, so there's this common point to let you know where you are in the story, but telling it from these different perspectives with the same characters. It was so fucking good. And the best part is the Menendez brothers fucking hate it, and they're so upset.
The only thing I read, it was like that they were like, "Oh, he's like living in some kind of strange fantasy because none of this pertains to like what." But so I don't know enough about it. Do they just maintain like their own innocence, or do they say
Menendez brothers do? Yeah,
they just act like, "Oh, we needed to do it because."
No. They don't. So
they didn't even admit to it.
So at first they said that it was the mafia. Then they said a cartel maybe came and did it because their father was from Cuba.
Okay.
And so, and he was in, I guess, the music business or whatever. So he had connections, whatever. And then when they finally admitted to killing him, then he said that his father was like molesting them. Okay. And all that, like I said, there was summaries, right? All these kind of things. But then there were all these other people that came forward and were like, he called us as soon as they got arrested. It was like, remember when my dad tried to touch you when you were a kid? And they were like, what the fuck are you talking about, Lyle? No, like, and then he'd hang up on him and they'd go call somebody else.
Oh,
and so they got a couple people to come forward and say that this stuff happened. But then all these other people later were like, he called us when we got arrested originally. So like the whole thing fucking fell apart, whatever. But they're I think, with their life without parole and all that kind of thing, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was a really well done. It's not the best. It's not the best thing that's ever come out, but for these serial killer things that they, have a tendency to grapple onto certain tropes. I really appreciated the way that they put this together. It's fucking like 8 or 9 episodes long, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's kind of steady following the timeline of what's going on sort of through the trial, the first trial and the second trial, but then it's all going back to these moments, sort of so you can actually see what's going on. But when they're in the courtroom talking about something happening, then they flash to these scenes where they're, like playing it all out with the characters. So it's almost as if you're perceiving it through their memory or their imagination in some instances. But it was really, really interesting. It was well done.
Well, it's like you can see, so I give a lot of like latitude to things like that because you can watch the documentary, you can read the information. It's all public record. It's been widely reported and heavily reported, especially these high profile, murderers like and killers and shit like that.
Yeah.
So you can get the unbiased, just plain facts.
Right.
It's been delivered. If you want to have like a telling that kind of focuses on some of the more emotional or abstract points of that particular story, reality, there's going to be a certain amount of like unreality, like suspension of disbelief.
Yeah,
it's always going to happen because no one was
things.
there, and it's not presented as a factual
There's
account.
certain things that are that way, but also if you, because I took some time to kind of contemplate those moments in which they were telling stories that the people are dead, so how could they possibly know them? But they do have other points of contact from their life that it's potential that they could have kind of reconstructed pieces and then filled in the blanks, or take artistic liberty, whatever. But every character is flawed in the series, regardless of the timeline, regardless of the perspective. And that's another thing I really appreciated, was that they didn't make anybody out to be like they're the victim and they're the perpetrator, or they're, everybody had their little twist. And so it made it very human, which was really cool. And it is another reason why I like it. You know me, if I like something, it's because it's not pulling any punches, and it doesn't pull any punches. You watch them get fucking shot to death. There's giant dicks in it too when they're in prison at one point. Because there was some words about.
Why is that important?
There was some. Well, like I say, don't hold back anything. If it's in it, I want to see it. But no.
But I mean, how's that pressing into their story?
When they were in prison, because there was rumors that Eric was gay.
Okay.
And so the part of the I guess the evidence of that was that he got caught like blowing dudes in the shower and getting blown by dudes in the shower. In prison. But then they were like, yeah, but he's in prison, whatever.
Yeah.
But then they were like, yeah, but they were not just that way. So basically these like security guards and guys were all like
consensual stuff.
And they were like they were like in love with each other, basically, right? They weren't just fucking in the showers. Like they would wait until everybody else was done. They would go at the end of the day or something like that kind of thing. But anyhow, so that again, I love when they don't pull the punches there. But it's definitely, if you have any
big old
dicks, hey,
dongs hanging around. I'm fine with it. I'm just,
if we're watching the gruesome trial, we might as well watch the gruesome dicks.
Oh, and then look, it's so funny. It's so twisted. I brought this up a bazillion times. It's probably like a broken record all the time here. As I get older, my points of view just get repeated and solidified.
Yeah, well,
but like we're so comfortable as a society showing like grotesque violence. That's something that you'll never. Not all people.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that most people like will not encounter horrible violence.
Right.
Because we don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
We'll show it, but I guess that's why we're like somewhat detached.
Yeah.
But you feel a little differently if you like haven't experienced something that's portrayed as like, supposed to be portrayed as having some kind of distance.
Mm-hmm.
If you've been through something like that, you're like, oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, it can be that way
to watch.
But at the same time, I think that at a certain point, when you get to a certain point, or I suppose if you get to a certain point in your life, that can also be therapeutic to expose yourself to it with the awareness that it's on the other side of a piece of glass, and
Well, it's all just it's a fake. It's made up.
Yeah, but even if it's emotionally eliciting for me, just because I'm dead inside. But it's nice. It's nice to every once in a while, I'm like, ooh, I felt something there. What's going on here?
That got a little fucked up for me.
Yeah, and so normally when the episode's over, if I just sit there and kind of like stare at the screen for a second, that's how I know, like, all right, this is going to be a good series. If it gives me pause. We are fucking loaded with full of people here.
Hey, what's up?
We got Deirdre and Juan and Allison. We got Terry. We got other people too.
Hello.
Who aren't even in the chat yet.
Hello. Welcome to
everybody.
our show. Welcome to our episode. And hello to you tomorrow if you're
listening
listening on the recorded end.
Yeah. Well,
welcome
wherever you are.
Sorry.
Welcome.
As I scream in your ears. I'm sorry. As you know, as I brought it up many times, it's a mistake when you listen to us.
Right, exactly. We just we remind
mistakes.
you. We have to remind you of this over and over and over again as much as we can. But yeah, I would recommend that one. Then I watched the I think it's called Pamela, a Love Story or whatever. It's the Pamela Anderson documentary that they did. Mm-hmm. That was pretty good. I watched that whole thing.
She's just gonna have bags of silicone in her grave when she's a skeleton with bags.
She's something else, and so
yeah, I'm sure she's very well adjusted. What are you talking about?
She's all over the place. But the documentary was really good. It was interesting because you got to see a lot of stuff along the the lines, and really cool historical footage because she was part of a lot of stuff, especially through the 90s.
Yeah.
That like I haven't seen for
she was a pop culture icon
ever.
so
she was involved with like
she
all
was
these things,
not
cameos
just like
and whatnot.
Playboy and all that. But she was on
after
Baywatch.
that, I'm talking, yeah.
She was in. I mean, I'm sure she hosted a bunch of shit.
Oh, yeah,
and was
she was
like,
all
she was
kinds
all
of-
over the place
Yeah.
all through the 90s. When the 2000s came.
She was on Home Improvement.
Oh yeah, yep.
You know, it's all there. But that's
The real Home Improvement and the porn Home Improvement.
Mhm. Well, you know, hold on, my gun unholstered yet.
I'm
Hump
like
improvement. How
Hump
about
Improvement.
that? There
I
you go.
love that. I
Hump
love that. See,
improvement. There you are.
I was too caught up on those prison dicks. Still hung up on the prison dicks.
Only I think only 2 topless women too in the whole thing, if my memory serves, and that's at a party scene, flashing by real quick.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was also pertinent to the whole thing because at one point they were trying to say that maybe maybe the mother stumbled on the 2 brothers. Maybe they were having like an incestuous relationship or something like that. And that's another reason why they were bringing up the fact that they thought that Eric was gay or whatever.
Yeah, it's an interesting in and of itself. It's interesting that these 2 brothers like stuck together and committed this crime and stay committed to what the story was even now. And they have nothing to lose. What are they gonna appeal it now?
No,
I think they're probably out of appeals at this point.
No idea. They're just, but they're definitely.
I don't think you can ever be out
control
of appeals because I think you can appeal like every little aspect of every little thing. So you can just be caught up in the system forever.
Yep, there you go. That's the way that we do it here, ladies and gentlemen.
You and me. I watched this movie last night called Kinds of Kindness because it was on the Plex.
yeah. I
Also,
haven't watched it yet.
thank you for putting the Ghost movie
Oh, you're
on
welcome.
there. We talked about it last week, and I looked on yesterday. There it is, recently added.
I got that damn thing from it's Veeps, I guess it is, that has the rights to it now.
Okay.
And so I got the whole thing all set up, and I was like, "Oh, great, okay." And so I put it on the Plex server. It was 4K. I didn't realize they fucking were streaming it in 4K. I knew that they had like that's what they were using in the theaters, but that's what they used. They didn't have any downgraded versions of it either.
Wow.
So it took me forever to get it to fit.
Oh,
and get
sure,
to work right. But so it's finally working right. It's on there.
Have you watched it at all yet? I haven't had a chance to look.
I only watched bits and pieces of it to make sure it was working finally.
Oh, okay. So cool. Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested to see like how it all flows and what it's like to experience that as a movie.
Yeah.
But this Kinds of Kindness, I guess I can't think of the name. Forgive me, people and future people who can just look shit up.
Yeah.
But there's this guy came out with this movie. The director. He's got I want to say it's like a Greek name.
Okay.
Yorgos Lanthimos or something like that.
Oh, very nice.
So he's he came out with this movie with Willem Dafoe and Emma Stone, and it was like basically like she was kind of like this like experimental woman with like the brain like in a woman's body with like the brain of a child.
Okay.
And like everybody was like fucking her. I heard about the movie. I never saw it. A very odd kind of like premise to it with all these men fucking this child brain woman.
Yeah.
As real weird.
Yeah.
So anyway, I watched this Kinds of Kindness movie.
What the fuck does that have to do with?
Well, it's the same guy who made this movie.
Okay.
That's what I'm driving at. I just like taking you around. I like taking you the long way because I gotta fill up an hour, you guys.
The dumpster's over here.
But first, let me show you how trash is made.
I'm gonna drive you through the landfill.
Let's ride on the back of a dumpster.
There we go. You want to swing by the cancer ward? The children's cancer ward is really hopping this time of year.
Jude's. Their little bodies can only take so much cancer. Please give us some money.
We'll give you a t-shirt.
Let's get this stylish t-shirt.
Donate $2 and get this $40 custom screen printed t-shirt.
Oh, that lady on the on those commercials, the heiress to the St. Jude's fortune, I guess is what she is. She looks like she has been kept alive with all of the donation money and the poor little souls of those. She's like Shang Tsung.
Yeah.
But she's her skin, it's so Botox. She's so like
it's full of souls.
She's without any reservations about plastic surgery, as you can see.
Yeah.
It's just it's
Well,
like
she owns a hospital. What do you think?
it's in yeah, great, good point.
It's on the house. There's one plastic surgeon that works in that hospital. It's like hers.
Can we get this poor this melanoma? It's like can we get a new cheek for this job? No, you can't.
We need this
No,
bed.
no.
Get out.
Mama St. Jude needs another nose job. Get the fuck out of the way. They tossed the push it over.
Short stopping at the staircase.
You're on your way out anyways.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on. It goes to the balcony, to the lobby.
You got what, like 2-3 more weeks? Get out of here.
Go live your life.
Just put him in the morgue. Just wait in the morgue.
Get your brain put into an adult woman. What do you have to do?
Willem Dafoe and Mark Ruffalo will take care of you. So this Kinds of Kindness is like it's like an anthology of 3 stories, all with the same 3 central characters who are actors playing different characters, different kinds of dynamics. It's Jesse Plemons, who was Todd in Breaking Bad.
Right.
Also
right. Oh,
Black
yeah.
Mirror stuff, that guy.
Right.
They call him either Fat Damon or Meth Damon.
Yes.
Usually.
Yeah, that's a good title.
Yeah, it's appropriate.
Yep.
Well, he's not fat anymore. He took the Ozempic, the Ozempic challenge, and he lost probably 80 pounds or some shit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Well.
Ozempic. There's this great meme of this guy singing it. And he's like, we know you didn't do that yourself. You were fat not that long ago.
Well, that's it. Sometimes the skinny person you wanted to be was inside of you all along.
Yeah. And the stretch skin that was left over.
Well, that's what happens when you
loss.
keep a skinny person inside of a fat person.
Well, I mean, they got that
in the same skin.
That's true.
Yeah.
They have money though, so they can cut the skin off.
It's like a duplex. Yeah, that's right. It's good to have like like a row home.
Oh God. So we got Jesse Plemons, we got Emma Stone, of course, and we've got Willem Dafoe. And so the 3 stories all kind of the thing is, and not to spoil anything about the movie, I won't.
Mm-hmm.
But I just didn't know what the takeaway was supposed to be.
Yeah, that's why
of them.
That's why I didn't watch it yet.
It's weird for the sake of being weird.
Yeah,
it kind of feels
so.
like who's that fucking guy who just makes those pastel still frame shot movies? Like, was it Wes Anderson? Is that him?
Wes Anderson.
Yeah. Who's this fucking guy? Who's this pretentious ass motherfucker? Puts Bill Murray in all of his movies, and Owen Wilson is in every movie of his.
Juan, you got to help us out here.
I know you know it is Juan. I know.
Right now they're having a whole talk in the chat about horror movies.
I love that they come to just have a community.
This is it,
and we're just talking over them. They probably turn our volume down and just chat, which is what I recommend, by the way. If you do listen on the live
Terry
stream.
said he's doing a bunch of stuff right now. Watching,
reading
comics, watching Killer Clowns.
That's a good way to spend your time.
That's it.
So
there you go.
Take a note from Terry.
That's it.
But this movie was it was so odd.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the stuff was provocative in some way. It gave kind of elicited some weird feelings where you're like, okay.
All right.
But almost it was intentionally, a lot of plot points were intentionally obfuscated on in order to create a certain sense of drama.
Okay. Yeah.
That's how you create a horror soundtrack for our show. You can't have springs near me, Matt.
No.
You knew that.
Nope. Only
spring loaded.
Only open pits.
Yeah,
no water's allowed inside.
Voids!
That's right. Only voids. Yes.
Oh God.
That's
Speaking
good.
of which, there's this whole fucking bit. In one of them, one of the premises, this woman is Emma Stone is kind of searching for someone who can resurrect the dead.
Okay.
Basically.
Okay.
And this one character is finds her and she's like, I know you're looking for. It's my sister. She can do it because I dove in a pool without looking, and the pool was empty. I was drunk as hell when I was a kid, and she and it healed me. And it's just holy fuck. And it's you're witness it and you're oh.
I'm glad you said this because I watched another movie I completely forgot about. But
Yeah.
go ahead. So
No, I'm done with it. I mean, the movie is like I won't give it a recommend, but I think if you're into like strange, and it's not I don't know, I think it's Wes Anderson. It's
yeah.
God, I wish I knew who's Wes Anderson. What does he do?
Well, he's like a horror, like he did Scream and stuff, didn't he?
That's Wes Craven.
Wes Craven. There's too many Wes's in this place.
Wes should really just be reserved
we
for just one guy.
We need one guy. I think
the Wes position's filled.
Wes Craven's dead, so
he's dead. He's dead,
so
yeah.
okay. Wes Anderson might be still around.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah. We'll see what it is. I don't know what it is.
yeah. The movie, I don't know. It's like whatever. I wouldn't recommend it. It was between that and Hellhole.
Oh yeah. So
So-
was this like an anthology kind of thing where
Yeah.
it's like all these stories?
It's three stories. They aren't interconnected. It's just so weird because at the end of the story, it doesn't feel like it's ending,
Okay.
but it just kind of like the major little point gets resolved, and then like the credits will just be like it'll just show who was who. It just pops up on screen while the stuff's still going on.
I see. Okay.
And then it just cuts to the next fucking one, and you're like, it's so odd, and it's just I like anthology stuff. I like weird. I like bizarre, but I mean, I don't know. It just didn't really hit me as like being impressive
Yeah.
or giving me a new perspective. Kind of remind me of like Nicholas Winding Refn, the guy who did like Drive and like
Oh yeah.
what's that damn movie's name? The movie where like the barbarian dude, it's played by like Mads Mikkelsen. His name is One Eye. He doesn't speak. He just has one eye. He's a slave, and it's oh god, he's like he like encounters these like Christians. He like frees himself from slavery
Okay.
in like the 5th century or something like that.
Oh,
It's a very old, very like ancient times.
and then he goes and he finds like
like
an
a-
advanced society or something.
he finds these like Christians on like a pilgrimage.
Okay.
And like he just kind of weirdly ends up joining up with them, but he doesn't speak a single fucking word in the movie. Anyways, this dude made these movies Pusher and Pusher 2, 3. Pretty interesting filmmaker. Only God Forgives is another one,
Okay.
but his stuff is more like violently evocative in a
okay.
way.
Uh-huh.
So it's strange, but it's kind of trying to tell you like it's trying to kind of like stir up a feeling of like tension.
Yeah. Right.
Whereas these other movies are just, I don't know. It was okay. It was fine. I'll give it like a 6, but I'm not gonna recommend it to anybody.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, there you go.
Well,
The horror movies we've been watching,
yeah.
I think that they were better, like Trap and
Yeah.
well, except for what was the other one that we watched?
What, trim season and all that?
Oh,
Trim season,
Oh,
long
please,
legs.
God.
Uh,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
watched Long Legs and Trap
Yeah.
recently.
well,
We'll get into that later.
So we're coming to the conclusion that we're going to have to do an episode of Two-Headed Horror.
We are
That's going to
heading
be
towards it.
just to dump all of this garbage out of our brains.
Yes, please. I got to refresh.
Because I don't know that we have a movie. The one I was so excited at the beginning of this. So I watched the movie Dark Song or A Dark Song. That's on the Plex too.
Okay. What year?
It's relatively new.
Newer. Okay.
It's both of the actors in it are British.
Okay.
So I assume the whole thing is done over there or whatever. But it is the reason why I was paying attention to it.
Are we recording?
Yeah,
still?
yeah, we're good. It's just because it's down.
That's tiny. Okay.
Oh, well, actually, no. You know what? What is going on here? I believe we are still recording because the line is still moving. So we're going to say that everything is fine. We'll find out in a
If
minute.
it's one of those weeks where it's just the stream, fuck it.
Well, and we can always pull the audio from here. But
True.
the reason why I chose this film was because in the thumbnail or the poster for it,
Mhm.
I saw the sigil for the Goetic demon Astaroth on the wall.
Oh, sweet.
And I was
Okay.
like, that's the right thing. And if they're talking about this being a movie about doing a ritual and all this kind of thing,
Yeah.
maybe we have some potential here. Let's check it out.
Yeah, that sounds pretty promising.
So we go in. It's this woman. She's searching for somebody who can do this ritual. It's kind of vague in the beginning. You don't really know what's going on, whatever. She's looking for somebody. She finds this guy. He agrees to do this ritual. But she has to have a house and all this kind of thing. There's a space.
She has to give him money.
Yes, she does have to give him money. She has to do all this stuff.
This is
And-
just the fucking church, the
and-
700 Club.
So basically, yes, exactly right. So it all starts to line up, and there's these little moments where if you have the incredible waste of time and space that of the knowledge that I have of occult history in my head. That there's these little moments that are like, oh, wait a minute there. That's kind of like what happened here, what happened there. She buys this house and she's making sure that it's facing facing west, and that there's water nearby, and that there's nobody within a certain radius, and all these kinds of things.
I like all of these things.
And I'm like,
I wish I could find something like that on Zillow.
Yeah, well, so the reason
it goes for like 800,000.
The reason why I started ringing a bell was because I can remember reading Aleister Crowley's journals when he was doing the Holy Guardian, the Abramelin ritual, which is a very specific thing to summon what's called your Holy Guardian Angel, which is supposed to be your this higher self or this particular entity that's devoted to you.
I'll tell you what, definitely need some assistance.
Yeah,
so
they're already they're already helping in a way, and so the idea is that the Holy Guardian Angel precedes Christianity, so the idea of using that Angelos, that word doesn't necessarily correlate to the Christian guy with wings and that he's here,
okay.
So it's like there's a spirit. It's a daemon that in the Greek of a spirit. So so all these things start to line up, and through most of the movie, it's these little moments of kind of weird tricks of light and stuff.
It's teasing you,
right? The whole thing, and there are certain things. Bravo. Right on target. They did great. And other things, particularly about what the Abramelin ritual is, holy fucking horseshit. Completely wrong. Has nothing to do. The guy's like making her drink blood and all kinds of...
you got to make it visceral for the commoners.
But the idea is why there are so many other established rituals that they could have used for that, but they had to go with this one.
Well, so it sounds like this is just a theory, but there might be that someone was very intimately familiar with this kind of stuff, and then the studio was like, put blood in it, and they were like, they gave him notes, and he's like, fine, I guess I have to because you're paying for this.
It could be that, or it could be that they didn't want to follow it all the way. They just wanted to bring in these names because certain things I recognize as similar enough to other established Grimoire rituals. So there's this weird thing where they talk about was wrong. It's wrong.
Well, that's why I'm saying it's strangely like. To have the depth of knowledge that they're nailing certain stuff means that they either stopped halfway through and filled in the gaps with other bullshit, or they had a vision that was interrupted.
Or ChatGPT wrote it and didn't fact check.
Maybe. Look, that is an increasingly likely possibility.
That's what I'm going for, because it's just enough. Their accuracy is in stupid places. Like citing the exact town where the Abramelin fucking manuscript was discovered. Like all of this shit that doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
they got that right. I don't know, but
that must have been the biggest fucking like the biggest letdown for you when it's like teasing you the whole time. You're like,
I almost turned it off 3 times.
And
I was like, nope.
Just blue balls.
But the best
blue balls, the movie.
But the best part is
a sad song is what it's called.
It's so the last scene or the ending of the movie. I did appreciate the character development. The guy who was playing the magician in the movie, he did a really good job, because he was sort of like nihilistic, and he was just like, I've seen fucking shit that I wish I never had seen. I did it all for the wrong reasons. I know things that I don't want to know.
All for the nookie.
I did it all for the nookie. And so he basically, the way
I would love it if Fred Durst played that character.
Going off script, whatever he can, just to throw in lyrics.
It's like with a chainsaw.
Oh man, skin that ass raw.
Yeah,
so it was interesting to see them sort of touch on these things. The final scene was very satisfying in the way that they depicted the Holy Guardian Angel, because it wasn't over dramatized.
I feel like someone who's completely ignorant to any of this stuff like I might have been like, oh, this movie was all right.
Yeah, and
Like, I
they
might have liked it.
yes, they would absolutely watch it and think that they understand the Abramelin ritual, but
Yeah.
it's far more boring than that, and it takes way longer than it did in the movie. But
my farts reek and they're loud.
Permission to go home. My face is in beet red for my family photo. But if you don't know, well, I mean, even if you do know a little bit about ceremonial magic, but even if you don't, it's something to check out. It's not like action packed with all of the hits and the band, all that kind of thing.
Sure.
Certain moments that they could have cut out, but it's an interesting little tale, interesting journey, worth exploring perhaps a little bit there. So
with the like the portrayal of the demon, is it impressive? Is it cool, or is it kind of like?
Well, the best part is they don't show demons per se, but they do show these spirits. That's the other thing too. Okay.
On the scale of Pishash to Babadook to Late Night with the Devil, where is it falling on those?
They look like Australian Aborigines.
Oh no!
Painted in background.
Oh no!
They're white.
Okay.
They're obviously not. They're covered in white clay or mud, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Right? They have dreadlocks and they have these glyphs drawn all over them.
Okay.
Which is not a language. I spent a long time studying all the different languages that are used in the cult text. This is not one.
There's lots
of languages. But I'll tell you what they did use as some sort of protection. No, was it? I guess it was some sort of protection ritual.
Yeah.
They were drawing fucking Reiki symbols onto their body. Like, this has nothing to do with magic. This has nothing to do with this. And that's what I mean.
Yeah.
There were certain things that were so wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how did you get that right and this so wrong? How did this happen?
It's mind-boggling, really.
It bothered me. I barely slept. I didn't know what was going on. I was questioning my reality.
We should have covered that movie as a.
We can still cover it.
Two-headed.
We can still cover it. In fact, there's enough.
Just because your ire is so.
Oh my God!
It's so
I'll go
stirred
on
up.
and on and on about this because, like I said, you know what? It might not be a bad idea because I'll probably have to do like a 4-hour-long occult sideshow about it because it's practically the whole movie.
It's content. It gives you the excuse to do content.
Oh man, well, we'll see about that. But what we're going to see about right now is some weird news. How about
let's
that?
hit it.
Let's do it.
Come on, weird.
All right, everybody on the internet, we got 5. We only lost 1. Only one person has died of dysentery along this
man.
trail.
Whew.
Let's see if what I suspect is true.
We should just have Oregon Trail music running underneath of this whole fucking show.
That's the way we do it.
Every week. We should set those frequencies. You know how they do in like horror movies where they put the frequencies out that are unsettling to you?
Yeah.
Like what was that movie that used that a lot? Insidious.
Tingler. Oh yes,
maybe the Tingler. I don't know. No. I never saw a Tingler. Allison loves the Tingler.
Oh my God, Vincent Price,
one of her favorites. Yeah.
Well, and see that was a phenomenon too because they ran a thing certain theaters where they ran the thing under the seats and all that. Man, genius.
I would have loved that. I would have loved to experience
anymore,
that.
Though. Not without legal replications.
You can't. No, you cannot touch them. Don't touch them.
Don't touch
not allowed. No, that touch is not allowed no more.
Oh man.
You hear that, Paul?
You hear that, Paul? You're not allowed. Okay, man, leave me alone. All right, let's get the weird news rolling, everybody.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Help me, Jesus! Help me, Jewish God! Help me, Allah! Ah!
Weird news on the Kickstarter match.
Help me, Tom Cruise! Tom Cruise used a witchcraft on me to get the fire off me! Oh, help me, Oprah Winfrey! Ah!
A tarantula enjoys a fine chewing gum. A human torch is denied a bank loan. The arsonist has button shaped.
And now with this week's weird news, here's the match.
All righty. So here we go, everybody. Prepare yourselves. It's weird news time. Let's get the video up for all of our dear friends watching at home. What happened to the comments? I got all. Okay, there we go. It scrolled up for some reason. All right, everybody. We finally reached the conclusion. The saga has finally ended, and a Chinese zoo has finally admitted that the pandas in their exhibits were, in fact, painted dogs.
Well, to no one's surprise.
They finally came out with it. They said, as if there was any fucking question.
At this point, I almost feel bad that they had to admit it because I feel like they're trying to just keep the like magic alive.
It has to be.
Yeah,
because
it's like Santa
how
Claus.
did they keep denying this this long? This was months and months ago we did this story. Oh my God. Well, according
they held out for us, I think, as long as they could.
So according to the New York Post, the Shanwei Zoo, realizing they were being bamboozled by the so-called pandas, began painting. When they began panting and barking.
You see that, honey? That's a panda.
You know what I found out? Doc, let me know if this is true, but I believe, and I would go for the panda dogs too, Deirdre. I feel the same way. I would love to see these fucking things.
Yeah. No way to keep me away from them.
But did you know that killer whales are actually dolphins? They're a species of dolphin.
I don't know if I've heard. I
learned this today, and I don't know if it's true.
I also won't know for sure.
Yeah. So anyhow, so one visitor's video, one of the quote pandas was visibly panting while wrestling on a rock, as we can see here. Another clip, a panda with a long tail was walking around. So they were panting. That's why we knew that they were pandas. So
it's so crazy because pandas are from there. It's not like they're
exactly right.
It's like export.
This is a domestic for you. You don't need, there's no import. You don't have to pay any fees. There's no taxes.
Just go down to the bamboo fields and get one. Jesus.
I'll just leave the gate open. One probably wander in.
You're making this a lot harder than it needs to be.
Oh man. So Tom cells, what same genus or whatever? They're just technically both porpoises.
Thank you, Tom.
Porpoises.
Yes,
man.
that's awesome.
Oh, it's good to have a marine biologist on staff now too. So here we are. So it's not funny at all to die chow chow dogs to attract tourists. They said in a social media post, their fragile skin and naturally thick coats make them susceptible to skin diseases. However, officials defended their choice to paint the dogs, noting that they were not harmed by the dye and argued that if humans could do it, so could dogs.
What? Wait. What? What was that last line? What's that last line?
If humans can do it, I guess
if humans can paint the dogs, the dogs can paint us. They can turn us into pandas.
Humans can be pandas like Jack Black, and dogs can do it too.
Dogs can gaslight people into thinking that they're a bear.
Yep, it's not a problem.
So
don't worry about it
They're not so fucking innocent. All right.
Well, so from a dog cafe in southwest province of Sichuan, dyeing 6 chow chows to look like panda bears in 2019. A woman from the same province was, quote, walking a panda dog in a viral video in 2020. It doesn't seem like the zoo practice is a fluke. So apparently there's a lot of these panda dogs wandering around in China. I mean, once they let them out from the zoo, I mean, what else are they going to do?
It's funny because these dogs probably just are happy as shit. They don't give a fuck that they're like in a zoo. They don't care where they are as long as they're getting like played with and getting fed.
Let's hang out, whatever.
It's
all good.
It kind of like really discredits a lot of the zoo itself, though.
Right? Yeah. It's
kind of hard to like. You go to the zoo, I feel like, to learn about other animals and like see exotic things like creatures that you wouldn't normally see in person.
This is the idea.
And Allison and I just went to the Baltimore Zoo like last weekend.
Very good.
We had like this breakfast with the elephants thing.
Cool.
And it was, I was like, we're gonna be the only like adult people without children here. I guarantee it. There were some other couples that were there though.
You should have talked like you had kids there, but just nothing. No, this one is not going to get you. No.
What do we say? We say tell the nice lady thank you.
That's right. You're far too small.
And then you're like motioning it at the person to look at this invisible space next to you.
Are there any other coloring pages available?
Oh my God. Christ, that would have been so insane. But the people were very knowledgeable. It was like this whole kind of exposition on like elephants and
okay.
like different kinds of elephants, and like there's a couple that are out that they So it was pretty cool. And then we just toured the whole rest of the zoo because we haven't been there since we were kids.
Yeah, it's been a while for me too. I've been to the aquarium a couple times, but I haven't been to the zoo.
Yeah, the aquarium is like a big deal out there. It's
Yeah.
like a really nice aquarium.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was there, I think, a couple times in elementary school and stuff for
Mhm.
field trips because it was close by, and they're like, yeah,
Yeah,
take
right.
take the screaming wild,
There you go.
take those painted dogs to
That's-
the
Take them to the
sea
aquarium.
the sea amusement park.
That's right. They'll find them. They'll find them wherever they belong. They'll find their way. That's all that matters.
Let them loose
Let
and
'em
just
loose.
come back with an
Let
empty
them
bus.
loose and let God sort them out. That's what they say. That's what they say. Well, I'll tell you what else they say. Luis Armando Albino
Oh,
was
Albino?
6 years old in 1951
oh, okay.
when he was abducted while playing at an Oakland, California park.
Oh Lord, but you're not going to say by aliens.
Not by aliens.
Oh, this is no.
Man,
this is so much
Albinos
worse.
A whole different story. So now, more than 7 decades later, he's finally been found thanks to the help
What?
of his online ancestry test.
Oh wow, what the fuck?
Isn't that so fucking crazy? The guy on the right here in the picture is the guy who was taken. The guy on the left is, I guess, one of his family members. I don't know who the fuck that guy's supposed to be. But so the
Dude, I guess it doesn't. You don't have to grow up with a normal childhood to rock this. Look at this fucking
it's the
handlebar mustache
only
this
way.
guy's got.
It's the only way you have something like that. It's covering up so much childhood drama.
His eyes
It's dripping out of your
Look in his
nose.
eyes. You can see this man. This man has the calm and like
Yep.
steeliness
Yep.
of having to survive
He
a
knows.
traumatic childhood.
Yep, absolutely
You
right.
can see it.
And being found through a DNA ancestry test.
This guy, I look in this guy's eyes, and I feel like you're not going to get one over on this man. Like you can
No,
tell,
no.
you can just see it on his face. Like he's like, look, he kind of looking at
He
you
has
like
a knife in his
I don't
other
have
hand.
any-
No.
he's got a knife.
In the hand that's out of frame.
And what is this necklace that this other elderly man is wearing?
There's like a.
This guy looks like Ben, like Dr. Ben.
Yeah, it does look like an old,
Like a really
somebody
old
ran
Dr.
through that
Ben.
Russian filter that everybody did for a while so that they
Yeah.
could give them our faces for AI.
I don't know if that's just because the Star of David's around his neck, but
Well, there's a cross.
The picture may be influencing me to some extent.
It's true. There might be a little bit, but you can see you already broke that guy's nose. So it's like, we're taking a picture. So
You're my family member.
So the Bay Area News Group reported Friday that his niece in Oakland, with assistance from the police, the FBI, and the Justice Department, located her uncle living all the way on the East Coast.
Okay.
So it took him
I can't-
all the
I
way
can't-
across the country.
I cannot wait to hear how. I hope it goes into this.
So
this
it does.
story. Okay.
Albino, a father and grandfather is a retired firefighter and Marine Corps veteran who served in Vietnam, according to his niece, who's now 63.
Holy shit!
Right, the 63-year-old Alida Alaquin, who's his niece.
Okay.
She found Albino and reunited him with his California family in June. So on February 21st, 1951,
Mhm.
the year before my parents were born, a woman lured the 6-year-old man, well, at the time, child.
6-year-old.
It was a Jack situation. We couldn't help it. Only him and Robin Williams, they were the only two to ever have it. So a woman lured the 6-year-old boy from the West Oakland Park where he had been playing with his older brother and promised the Puerto Rican-born boy in Spanish that she would buy him candy. Classic mistake.
Classic
Classic.
tactic too.
Classic.
I wish I knew Spanish for candy.
Instead, it was certainly not Candida. I'll tell you that much. So instead, the woman kidnapped the child, flying him to the East Coast, where he ended up with a couple who raised him as if they were he was their own son.
That is so fucking bizarre. She's
Yep.
just like snatching kids out of playgrounds and then handing them over to other people who then at 6 years old
It was on Law and Order.
now you just claim that you have this child. How do you go about giving them health care, establishing them at school?
Yeah.
Like what do you do? They don't have a
falsified
social
documents.
security
Yeah.
number. Like what the fuck
Well,
are
he
they
was what he was. Didn't we say he was born in Puerto Rico, right? Yeah, he was born in
fuck.
Puerto Rico. That's why.
Oh, so they're just like, oh,
There you
the
go.
documents are kind of
This
fuzzy.
is where you're going to live now, and then you'll be.
I mean,
on,
Puerto Rico is part of the United States. I
American
think
choppers.
They
Yeah,
must
yeah.
have pretty good documentation there.
Well, but because it's on the island, sometimes stuff
Too much
doesn't
to-
make it
yeah.
across the
They're
water.
like, I'll
The
stop
birth
asking
certificate
questions.
gets wet, and then the ink runs. We don't know whose this is. We're just going to throw it away. It's just,
I
it's just
guess
taking up space.
They could technically try to falsify that
Oh, yeah,
birth
it
certificate,
happens
or just say, hey, there is no birth
all the
certificate.
time.
It was he was born in one of those
It's happened for
blow up
practically every president we've
kiddie
ever
pools.
had has falsified the birth certificate. It's in the news. It said for more than 70 years, Albino remained missing, but he was always in the hearts of his family, and photos hung in his relatives' homes. His mother died in 2005, but she never gave up the fact that she believed her son was still alive. This is the fucking thing that every time some kid gets like kidnapped and murdered, all the parents, I just think he's out there somewhere, right? And this lady,
Well, most of the time, and it's wrong.
exactly right. This lady, the whole life of
Yeah.
this person, he's out there, and everybody's like, all right, fine, abuelita,
Abuelita,
it's time for you. It's time
to
for
go
bed.
to-
Time for bed, abuelita. Time to go to bed.
Buenas noches, abuelita.
That's it. Oakland police acknowledged that the efforts played an integral role in finding her uncle, and the outcome of the story is what they strive for. Because basically, I love it when citizens do our work. That's what we strive for.
Yeah, we really want people to not be missing anymore and
just-
still be alive.
You know what? Just give us the information so we can do the press conference.
This is so interesting
Yeah.
because
So-
I can't keep going.
Yeah. So in an
Got a lot of
interview,
questions.
she said her uncle hugged her, said thank you for finding me, and gave her a kiss on the cheek. The Oakland Tribune articles from the time reported police, soldiers from a local army base, and Coast Guard and other city employees joined a massive search looking for the missing boy. The waterways were searched, the San Francisco Bay, according to those articles. His brother was interrogated several times by investigators. But they stood by his story that a woman with a bandana around her head came and took his brother.
Yeah.
So the first notion that her uncle might still be alive came in 2020 when, just for fun, his niece took the DNA test. It showed a 22% match to a man who eventually turned out to be her uncle. And the further search at the time yielded no further answers or a response from him.
Okay.
So
he must have got himself in the system doing an ancestry thing.
somebody,
at some point,
yeah,
too.
probably. Because I guess he's got, didn't they say that he has kids and grandkids or whatever? So maybe
This man, the 6-year-old man,
the guy, the 6-year-old man has kids and grandkids.
he has his own kids and grandkids. So he's
his whole life,
he
whole life on the
he
East Coast.
lived,
Yeah.
and this is what's so insane.
Yeah.
He lived an entire life,
Whole life.
without. He wasn't like in a basement.
Nope.
He was just kind of he just was separated from his real family.
Yeah.
And then like lied to that
Mhm.
he was, which is insane. I mean, like at 6, you're like in that weird kind of zone where like, do you just don't ask questions
Yeah,
or
I think what it is that you're trying to survive, or you don't know what the fuck is going on and why you're not where you're supposed to be.
I hope they go into this more, but I'm so fascinated on what his perspective is of this
Yeah.
whole fucking thing. I have memories at the age of like 3.
Yeah.
So,
But
I mean,
at the
not
same
a lot,
time,
but
you got to think about it. This is a whole different world that he grew up. He's growing up in our parents' world as opposed to our world. And in their
don't back talk.
in their generation, it was a whole different power play with
Mhm.
authority. It was a whole different world as far as child abuse and all that kind of stuff.
That's true. He
so
probably just thought, well, but I mean, but that's got to be an instinctual thing where you're like, this
Yeah.
isn't my family.
well, yeah,
Like,
right,
this
right.
isn't, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah,
And then, but they're not going to give him up. So
Talked him into it.
so the people who raised him are like, I'm hoping that they're dead, because if they aren't dead, they should be in fucking jail.
yeah. But and this curious thing is going to be, I don't know if it's in here or not, but if they think that they got the child through legitimate adoption, that would be even
Yeah.
more interesting.
Well, then it's like, oh, we thought we did the right thing.
yeah.
And I was like, you've been adopted. You're safe now. And he's
There
like,
you go.
but I have a family. And they're like, no, you don't.
Nope, not anymore.
us.
Not anymore. They died. They died in a skiing accident.
Jeez.
They were hit
Dude.
by the Kennedys.
Collateral damage. The
That's
bullet
right.
ricocheted right off his skull. Hit your parents in the face. Boom, boom. Kill them both. Dropped
Shushing
them
down a
dead.
mountain there. In early 2024, or rather, early 2024, she and her daughters began searching again. On a visit to Oakland Public Library, she looked through a microfilm of old Tribune articles, including one that had a picture of Lewis and Roger, which convinced her that she was on the right track. She went to the Oakland police the same day. Investigators eventually agreed that the new lead was substantial and that the missing persons case should be opened again. So later that week, Oakland police said that there was a missing persons case was closed, but the FBI considered the kidnapping a still open investigation. And so he was located on the East Coast, provided a DNA sample, and as did his sister, who was the obviously the niece's mom.
It's like, just give me the cup to jerk off.
Yeah, it's like,
They're like, we can use blood. No.
no. Saliva? No.
That hurts. This method feels good.
This is the one I prefer. I know which box I checked on the form.
Oh, I'll give you some DNA, but you're not going to hurt me. No.
No, this is going to be a good time. So on June 20th, investigators went to her mother's home, told them both that her uncle had been found. We didn't start crying until the investigators left. I grabbed my mom's hand and I said, "We found him."
We didn't want to show weakness.
Yeah, that's right. We didn't want to because we didn't want them to know.
They're like crocodiles; they can smell it.
Oh yeah, they're just waiting. So they said on the 24th of June, with the assistance of the FBI, he came to Oakland with members of his family and met with her mother, the niece, and other relatives. The next day, they drove the mother and the newfound uncle to the home in Stanislaus County, California. They grabbed each other, had a really big, tight, long hug, and then they sat down and just started talking. She said she discussed the day of the kidnapping, the military service, all kinds of things, but he moved back to the East Coast. He comes back for 3-week visits every once in a while.
He's like, well, I got to go back to my 60-year-long family life that I've established for a very long time.
But unfortunately, it was the last time that they would see him because he died in August.
So, he just fucking died?
He just fucking died last month, yeah. So, but she said her uncle didn't want to talk to the media. She was always determined to find him, and who knows, with the story out there, could even give other families a long way to go through.
Motherfucker, this guy's dead. We can't even ask him these questions. Whatever's in that fucking article.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's all we got.
Because I'm like so interested in, I'm intrigued by like, him being like, does he have a recollection of being abducted? Does he have like, did he have a sense that his life wasn't right, or did he just like gaslight himself into believing that this was like a normal life? Because he had to have this whole experience of like, this is my life.
Yeah, well, they had to tell him a story though, like your family doesn't want you, or they're dead, or this is they got arrested.
If he had questions, they had to have
tell
answers.
Him some sort. Yeah, they had to tell him some sort of story, and maybe as a kid he just believed it.
But also at this age, and like in your 60s, whatever the case may be, you can't reclaim all that time. And his mother's dead.
Yep.
His father. I'm guessing that's his father because he has like awesome like my father. I guess it says.
That might be what it says.
Awesome like my something.
Yeah.
Unless maybe his kid gave him that.
Right. We don't know. We don't know what it is. We don't know what it is, and we'll never know.
We'll never know.
It's a forever mystery. But it's funny. I think I told you about this. Back when I did Lung Fudo, the version of karate that I did. Yeah. My sensei had the same sort of thing happen to him. He was adopted as a kid. And his family found him through one of those ancestry tests. They just like reached out to him one day. And they called him on the phone. They're like,
"We didn't mean for you to be adopted.
I don't know how to tell you this, but I think you're our brother."
Okay. Yeah.
And so they got together and they all.
And he was like,
yeah, he was like doing takedowns to him. He was just throwing him through the glass and tables everywhere.
This is my way of life.
That's right. It was almost like they discovered Steven Seagal was the relative.
I've never trusted anything. I've never trusted anyone. I always knew I was different.
That's it.
I always knew I didn't belong.
That's right.
So I had to learn how to fight and defend myself. The Lung Fudo way.
That's right. I'm all about the lungs. That's right.
It's all about breathing.
It's all about breathing. You got to
Breathe
keep
in and
breathing.
keep kicking.
This one right here, this is going to be a quick one. I just want to let everybody know that back in March of 2023, all right, a Pennsylvania woman known as Jane Doe received a shocking phone call from Lehigh Valley Health Network. Okay. So not too far off.
Is this around here?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Informing her that hackers had stolen and posted nude photos of her and other patients on the dark web.
Oh shit! Other patients. Oh, like she was a patient at Lehigh Valley Hospital.
Yeah.
Hospital. Okay.
Well, part of their things or whatever.
Their
so
health network. Okay.
apparently, the woman who's in her 50s was the victim of a ransomware attack. The and now the Lehigh. So they tried to get let's see, $65 million.
I'll show your tits to the world if you don't give me $65 million. I'd be like, show them, baby.
And so
I'll post them myself. Shut the fuck up. Are you kidding me? Are you seriously? Are you fucking kidding me? And also these nudes, so they're not like nudes because this is like health related.
They're not erotic nudes. Yeah. No.
So they're like these are what, just like pictures of
mostly cancer patients, it turns out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, go on then.
So the breach primarily targeted a network supporting a single physician's practice in Lackawanna County. A Lehigh Valley Health spokesperson emphasized patient, physician, and staff privacy is amongst our top priorities. We continue to enhance our defenses and prevent incidents in the future, but apparently not, because now they're going to be the settlement is going to provide compensation to nearly 135,000 patients and employees who were affected by the breach, and 80% of the people are going to receive upwards of $75,000 apiece.
Oh, this turned out really good. Man, I hope somebody hacks my fucking nudes.
Jane Doe. Yeah, I know, right?
First, I need to get some nudes out there.
We got to get them into the medical system. And then take down the firewall.
When I get them next time I get my physical, I'm getting totally butt-ass naked,
but
baby.
Jane Doe, she could receive up to $125,000 because she's the lead plaintiff. So there you go. If you had your nudes involved in the FBI is advising anyone against paying ransomware attacks, saying there's no guarantee the data is going to be returned.
Once they've got it, they've got it. Don't do anything.
Yeah. So the United Health CEO admitted to paying a $22 million ransom in a similar attack, calling it one of the hardest decisions he's ever had to make.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
$22 million to keep that from happening.
Does he have like something to be ashamed of? $22 million worth of shame?
I guess it's just the idea of a HIPAA violation.
Isn't it so? Oh, like this was his own personal.
No. The United Health CEO paid this basically because the United Health, I guess, got hacked with ransomware or whatever.
And so United Health had a payout settlement of $22 million. I got it. I thought he was like, don't show him my dick. I'll give you $22 million. I'll give you $22 million.
Please.
No. That's a special part of me.
I'll send this baby over to the East Coast.
That's what I really don't want getting out.
That's
you show him my dick all day long.
Whatever you
want to do. You can show him
do.
the inside of my butthole. I don't care.
I don't care.
I've got 3 hours of colonoscopy footage.
Put it on a scrolling ticker tape. I don't care.
They just can't know about this baby abduction.
Oh, what a nightmare it would be. So there you go. So don't pay anybody for your nudes unless it's $125,000.
Get paid for your nudes.
That's right. This is it.
This is a lawyer commercial we're
That's
running
exactly
right now.
We're trying to keep you up to terms. If it comes to nudity, make sure you get your money up front.
Here's the lesson here. Here's the takeaway.
Yeah.
You never know whether whether it's fortunate or unfortunate. It's all about your perspective.
All about how you look at it, baby.
And all about because look, that lady probably thought her life was fucking over because these people are trying to steal money from her. Now she's about to be $125,000 richer.
And she's going to look a lot better naked probably when she's done.
Yeah. I mean, hey, and she's still alive. I mean, that's pretty great in itself because, like you said, it's mostly like cancer patients. Right. So, yeah. And she's winning.
She's definitely winning all around. And I mean, you know, it sucks. It's a violation of privacy and all that.
It's wrong, but you know.
But hey, It's working out.
Yeah.
Unlike for a 17-year-old Colorado boy who was shot in the face by a town council member after he and a friend went to a home to ask permission to take homecoming photos on their property.
Wait a minute. What the fuck? The fuck?
He got Dick Cheney'd. So
Jesus Christ. He looks like a redneck tomato.
Obviously, this
photo.
is the guy that did the shooting, just in case you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
The shooting happened around 4:15 at a home on Pleasant Park Road in Jefferson County. When deputies arrived, the 17-year-old was bleeding heavily from his face. Second juvenile applied pressure to his friend's wounds with a T-shirt. Brent Mintz, the boyfriend of a woman who lives at the home, was arrested in connection with the shooting. Mintz, 38.
The boyfriend of the lady whose home he's in.
Yes.
Spent visiting.
The boyfriend of the lady whose property these kids were coming to ask to take homecoming photos on.
It's not like they came in there with spiked baseball bats and AK-47s. What the fuck even reaction? What kind of reaction? This guy must have been on coke or something, dude.
Well, I mean, as Juan pointed out, just take a look at the flag. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there we go. I just took a look there. Yeah.
There we go. So
take America back.
Take it back. Take it back from these kids taking their homecoming photos.
Yeah.
While the sheriff's office said that the woman who was not at home called.
She wasn't even around.
Nope. She called deputies before the shooting to report 2 trespassers on her property.
Okay.
She also called Metz, who drove over to the home, allegedly blocked the teen's car from leaving.
Oh, okay. He wasn't even around at the time.
No.
They were just like wandering in there.
Yep.
Look, I got kids wandering through my backyard all the fucking time.
There you go.
All I can do is just gently tell them, could you please not be in my yard?
All you can do is gently usher them along with some burn shots. Well, so Mentz got out of the vehicle and is alleged to have fired 1 round through the windshield of the teen's car.
Jesus, he took a shot into their car.
Yeah. So let's see here. Where the fuck did I leave off here? So the 17-year-old told deputies that he and his friends went to the home because they wanted to take pictures there. He said they parked outside the gate. They walked up to the fence, moved through into the driveway to look for the homeowner. They couldn't find anyone there at the residence, so the boys walked around the property trying to locate the homeowner. When they got back in their car,
pretty normal.
And as they tried to leave, they returned to their car and began writing a note to the homeowner, asking their permission to use the property to take pictures. While they were doing this, a man that they had never seen before pulled up next to them, exited the truck he was driving, and fired a round through their windshield.
Holy fucking Jesus.
Yeah. So the sheriff's office said that the teen's intentions didn't seem malicious or criminal. And according to the arrest affidavit obtained, there was one of the teens reported hearing Metz say, "Oh shit, my gun just went off," after the shooting. So,
sure. Point your gun around. Point your gun at people who are just. I mean, like, you look. Here's the picture. If you see the pictures of his house and this fucking gated driveway, it's not exactly the fucking ghetto.
Yeah.
So I don't imagine that you have to be like super testy and hair triggered about people being around your property. I understand. It's like I understand, but like there's that people shouldn't be on there. It's rude and it was impolite and improper. To just be at somebody's house, but you're allowed to just go to somebody's house and knock on their door and say hello. Can I? That's normal. That's like, boy, we can't do that shit.
Jehovah's Witnesses don't get shot.
Yeah, well,
most of the time,
unless they're going to his house.
Unless they're going to Brent Metz's house.
Brent Metz, town council member.
So we'll see how that goes for him.
Fuck it. I hope it goes
bid for re-election
horribly. Yeah. I hope it goes as bad as it can go. His stupid fucking face.
Yep, take it out. It's the blood pressure. That's what it is. He doesn't have his blood pressure.
He's on the Joe Rogan diet, which he's just eating like
that T-pump is going to town.
Oh yeah,
that bicycle pump. He's really having it up. I'll tell you, he's not going to be doing any bicycle pumping anymore. A man has died after accidentally stabbing himself while trying to separate 2 frozen burger patties with a knife at his grill.
It's called heat, baby.
Yeah, that's all you need to do. Let them
Just
sit in
warm
the
'em
sun for just a second.
You can rinse them off with warm water. Yeah, just
all you need to do.
Oh God, what
Barry-
a way to freaking.
Or you know what I do? I'll tell you what I do. I take the box of frozen patties if I get them, and I just sit them next to the grill as it's heating up. And guess what that does?
Yeah.
It makes them come apart.
You can throw them at the ground.
Oh,
in the box.
So many things.
Bam, like break it up like a
so
bag of
many
ice.
things. So many
Oh,
things.
Jesus,
Well, the
dude.
57-year-old lived alone and had been described as a very private man. He apparently so an inquest heard that he was found at his home where he lay dead for several days
Oh, fuck.
before being
Jesus.
found by police on a welfare check. So Chief Inspector Jonathan Reese says the bottom drawer of the freezer had been left open and pulled forward in a position to access the food items. On the work surface in the kitchen, adjacent to the fridge freezer, were 2 uncooked burgers, a knife, and a tea towel.
Oh, well, this
so-
is a.
So
This has got to be a very interesting day for the
Yeah.
detectives to wander in and just like collect this evidence. Yeah, well,
Tom has a good point. Oh Christ, he died cooking burgers for himself.
frozen burgers, nonetheless.
This is it.
Just
This is really
this
that
is bachelorhood in a nutshell. I had these when I lived alone for a while. I had fears that something stupid like this would happen to me, and I'd just be dead
oh
for
my
days.
God. Yeah,
because
right.
nobody was checking up. I
Right,
mean, like every
yeah.
now and then people would check up. I had at least for a week. 'Cause
Yeah.
Tuesday would roll around and be
Exactly
like, "Where are
right.
you?"
Well,
And then you
if
come into my
didn't
house
send
with your
me any
key.
memes.
Yeah. No memes. Now it's been a few days without
Something's
memes.
wrong with Matt. Yeah. so the wound to the abdomen would have been approximately the height of the work surface. And according to the coroner, they believe that the hypothesis is that he was attempting to separate frozen burgers with a knife that was far too big and sharp to do so.
I mean, hell, he might have just went, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah. So, well, they ruled out that he died from accident, or rather, they ruled that he most likely died from an accident, and ruled out that it was a suicide. So apparently, they said that he lay dead for several days from a single stab wound before it was found. Initially, the knife was found covered in a substance thought to be chocolate. But later on, they determined that it was the dried blood of Griffin, the man who led a relatively
Oh, he
private
must have
life.
pulled it out.
So it must have been.
He
Yeah,
must have pulled it
he's
back
like,
out and bled out.
Damn, yeah,
So,
there you go.
I'm guessing he cut himself in the abdomen somewhere.
Tom said, "I choose to believe that depression overtook him at the last minute."
Yeah, I need this.
Dinner prep.
Yeah, this is right. This is right.
This is it. We've got a new theory. We need to reopen the case. So there you
what
go.
a fucking dude! Like, here's just another, something to be thankful for, that you didn't go out this way.
This is right. This is the way. Sometimes you. Sometimes it's tails. That's
Sometimes
all.
it's tails.
That's all we have to say.
R.I.P. to that guy, man.
Absolutely
That's
right.
Fucked.
It's almost
That
as bad as
sucks.
this guy in Marble Falls, Texas. A group of junior ROTC students in Texas came to the rescue. You know what that is?
Yeah.
Like
ROTC,
Yeah,
like the pre-military.
Yeah,
for
right. The military.
high schoolers.
Yeah, right. So a student in Texas came to the rescue after a school resource officer, which is basically a security guard. I don't.
Oh yeah. I
No.
when I did my internship with the police department, they had a
Yeah.
resource officer. In fact, my cousin who worked there ended up becoming the resource officer at one of the schools. But
Well,
yeah,
hopefully
it's like
it
more
wasn't-
chilled out.
Yeah, well, apparently not chill enough because this officer accidentally shot himself hours before a football game.
Oh my god! What is it with the theme of people fucking their own shit up
They're
this
just
week?
not having a good time. Well, police say the firearm of a Marble Falls High School it's in there twice. I didn't say that wrong. Marble Falls High School.
What have I told you? He'll read anything that's on the teleprompter.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego. So, resource officer accidentally discharged a weapon while he was seated, injuring his leg.
Ugh.
The incident happened just before the 6 p.m. Friday school football game. Jonathan Hereda, Ethan, and Josiah, all Black and Ridge School junior ROTC students, were in the area, jumped to help the officer. We asked if he was okay, and he was like, "Oh no, my gun went off. I was shot." At the moment, I felt terrified, like an adrenaline rush, but while he was doing it tight, we tried to help him tighten it because so despite the fear, the high schoolers helped him put a tourniquet on his leg before calling 911. He was doing it pretty tight, but I had to help him tighten it because it was the tighter, the better. That's what we learned. So I feel basic first aid should be taught to anyone from middle school to high school, just so these sorts of things can be taken care of and not turn into life-threatening situations. The teenagers say that they hope the officer and his family are doing okay, and they want a solid life lesson to come from this situation. Don't sit down before the football game.
Don't sit down. Stay standing. Draw your gun and point it at
Not in this town.
teenagers. Point your gun at teenagers
That's
in,
right.
front of your girlfriend's house.
That's what we hired you for.
Yeah.
Shoot the teenagers if they start to trespass.
If there's a teenager on your lawn,
That's right.
no
Start
more yelling.
One toe at a time. Start with the pinky toe. They don't need that one for balance as much.
That's right.
Start that
You can
way.
lose that one pretty easy.
You have to do something. You have to do something to get all of these kids back in line. And nothing wrong with a little chair pop. You just fire a few into the drop ceiling. It's mostly asbestos anyway. What difference does it make? It'll absorb the impact.
Hey, this guy was lucky that the accident happened around a bunch of people who were like trained and watching him. Unlike
to
the
a
last
degree,
dude,
yeah.
The last dude was trying to make himself frozen burgers.
Yeah, he was like,
and he died.
God damn it. Slipped.
Fuck, man. That's like, and even statistically, even like people who are unmarried or don't have a partner, or don't
Right.
have like roommates at least. Those people tend to be like to have like worse health
This is
situations.
true. This is true. Allison says, or maybe keep the safety on. Yeah, that's definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
one would hope
That would be
one would
be
hope
smart.
that
wouldn't
would
it?
be the path that they're taking. But
I had a gun safety class
Uh-huh.
in college,
Right,
actually,
right.
shooting class. And
Mhm.
it doubled as like a gun safety, and you could get like a certificate at the end.
Mhm.
But the instructor told us a story about his grandfather who laid his shotgun against a fence, barrel end up,
right,
climbed over the fence, and while he was climbing over the fence, the gun went off and shot him and killed him.
Jesus
That was how he
Christ.
fucking died. That was his story. It might have been made up. I mean, it's too.
It's snake
too
crawl
relevant.
through the trigger guard. Yeah, there you go. That's it. That's all it took.
So he's like, guns are perfectly safe. It's the snakes that you have to look out
snakes
for.
that are the problem. And we've got 10 of them strapped to our arms. They're always looking for guns.
The snakes crave bullets.
Well, I'll tell you what this person craves. Sydney.
What the
Sydney.
fuck are these images?
Yeah, well, it's pretty much what it looks like.
Oh,
a
boy.
Sydney homeowner has become fed up with late night drunkards using his property as a makeshift toilet.
Is this guy shitting? Oh my god! What's the second picture from the left?
No, I think that's a lady, I believe.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So he's taking things into his own hands, setting up an infective trap.
An infective trap?
No, effective
Oh,
with an E.
oh,
Yes, not with an I.
He's giving them all hepatitis.
Little blow darts.
He's got a little AIDS dart.
So
You got AIDS.
So it's right peeing in my alley. So for far too long, Stephen Bodnair from Waverly in Sydney had to deal with the inebriated individuals using his driveway as a place to relieve themselves. The worst was when I'd go away.
Australia, dude, cut him a break.
Look at your world. Yeah, the worst was when I'd go away or out to dinner or something, and then drive into my driveway, and they'd be peeing right where my door opens. And he said it was an unpleasant feeling. I can't believe that someone would leave a pub with a full bladder and not realize that they've just walked past the toilet to get here. As he pointed out, that there are clearly public bathrooms on the way between the bar and his home. So
Can we compare these two stories from earlier?
Uh-huh.
One guy's not even at his own house.
Nope.
And shoots some teenagers who were just trying to knock on the door and just ask a question.
Yep.
And this dude has people pissing and shitting. I'm going to add shitting.
Yes.
Pissing and shitting in front of his door. And he's just like, boy, this is annoying.
He's like, I can't stand this. So,
God, I can't deal with
that's
this.
right. No, not a day. Well, I'm not going to spend any more time on it. So finally fed up, the electrician decided to install a $3,000 sprinkler and closed circuit television system to keep any perpetrators away. And so far, it's working like a charm. He said, "I've had no." Go ahead.
The sprinkler works really good because it helps clear the piss.
Yeah,
You get some water.
Well, this
it's
is
an
true.
immediate
Yeah,
cleaning.
yeah, you're rinsing the whole alleyway out.
Yeah, it's
said,
very clever.
I had no other option than to take matters into my own hands. He said, I think. The term, this is what he said, I think.
I think I have another choice. I stopped looking for answers.
So
I came up with a good one.
The deterrent includes a motion detector, which triggers a light, and then a 3-minute downpour.
Oh, I see
of
it now.
water.
I understand
Yes.
what this is now.
Yeah,
this
between
picture, this rig.
between the hours of 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. It'll go straight off whether I'm there or not on the other side of the world. So, the Robin Hood hotel owner, where most of the drinkers are coming from, had previously offered a solution to the problem, but he said that he was turned down. We offered to pay for a gate so that people couldn't actually go onto his property, but they turned that down.
So wait, so there must be a gate behind, like not in his actual driveway,
Maybe.
but somewhere connected to the bar
Mhm.
where they wander out and they think it's just an alley, not a residence.
No, they're like walking along the street and then they're hooking around behind, like in his alley, which is how he gets, I guess, into his house or whatever. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, but like this bar offering to pay, like give him a gate.
I guess because he was like, people keep fucking pissing at my house from your bar. So they're like, all right, we'll put a gate up.
Oh, well, but that is I would have rejected that solution too, because that means that he would have to fuck with a gate every time he wanted to
It's
drive
true.
his car up
It's
into the
true.
driveway.
Yeah, well,
That would have been such a pain in the ass, unless it was like an electronic gate.
yeah,
but still,
still,
I'd still be like, look, just don't have people pissing in my fucking.
just
I
fill,
mean-
fill the sprinklers full of piss. Just have them
Oh
come
my
from the sewer system. Just do, give them a
Tap
little
into
taste
the
of their own taste of their own medicine, so to speak.
Oh, there's a dookie in there getting stuck. Piss is stuck in there again. You gotta clobber it with this. You gotta hit it with a mallet.
Well, Bonair's solution seems to be working just fine. The CCTV was capturing the shocked experience of multiple late-night drinkers that have had quite the surprise receiving a drench. I'm
I'd
really
say
happy with the outcome, he said. It's working a lot better than I thought it would.
It's fair. I think it's fair because, look, you shouldn't be pissing out like in public. Look how lit up. I mean, well, this is lit up because like he sets the camera
Yeah,
off.
the lights
and now
come. Yeah, the
these
motion
photos,
sensor.
and they're
yeah.
very heavily blurred because obviously this showing people's,
identity and genitals
and,
in some certain systems.
genital identities.
But he's having a great time. He's loving his double-breasted button-up shirts.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And just talking to 7 News whenever he can, and that's what it's all about. You have to try to harness the elements of whatever is available to you, so that you can combat all of the other people that you're forced to ride this rock with.
Try not to shoot him in the face.
Don't shoot
This
them.
is
Don't stab them.
much preferable because
Drench them.
hence look. The people who are the most scared are the ones who don't even encounter danger in their anytime.
Yeah.
This man, let's not forget, lives in Australia.
Australia.
Where there's probably giant spiders in his house
The
just at a
worst-
given moment.
Exactly right. He's fighting them constantly. It's like fucking Jason and the Argonauts in there. 24/7. It's like that's
damn.
what living in Australia means.
Yeah,
but,
man.
But the
for
good
real.
news is that everything comes out in the wash as
Right.
long as you apply enough water pressure.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'd say that this is the solution we should all strive to
that's
incorporate.
that's the solution that we're all looking
Wet
for.
'em down.
We're going to wet them down.
Wet them down.
And we're going to wet you down until we see next time on another episode of the Kickstart with Matt.
And Matt,
That's it, everybody.
yeah,
Go
go
get
away.
wet. Go get wet.
Go away.
We love you.
Get
Goodbye.
out of here. Go away. That's the theme of this episode, isn't it?
Oh, that's
all the
right.
weird news stories
That's what
are.
it's all about. Just go away, one way or the other. Whatever it takes. All right,
Oh,
internet
Lord.
people. We love you.
All of you.
I can't believe it. This was that was definitely a very high attendance. And,
Thanks for joining us.
great chat going through here. I can't wait to go back. This is the best part too. Once Matt and I end the live stream, we go back and review the chat and
Yeah, go
laugh
read
at
it.
all
What
the
everybody's been saying.
funny jokes that
I
everybody
can't join
says.
you guys. I'm too busy delivering
No,
my non sequiturs.
He doesn't.
I can't because it'll throw off the whole
very
flow.
quickly. Very quickly.
Yeah, this will be the most boring show.
Yes.
Just because I'll just sit there quietly reading. I do that all day, anyways. Just looking at my phone.
That's what it's all about.
Stupid.
It's the game. We're just playing it. We love you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.